Good morning. Welcome to the News Hub. I'm Rolf Winkler. Just beginning to clean up after their catastrophic tornado, the residents of Moore, Oklahoma will need to work out who will pay for the damage. Turns out insurance companies won't pick up as much of the tab as they have in past storms. Lessons here for everyone else in Tornado Alley throughout the Midwest. Ben Castleman was in Oklahoma. He is back. He joins us now. Ben, welcome back.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so you were definitely tooling around in the car all across Oklahoma, weren't you?
Just got in last night, kind of had the chance to see the destruction, and let me tell you, it's pretty brutal to see.
A sight, yeah. That just mile wide path.
Swath
that just
of
kind
total destruction. That's right.
Yeah. Now, okay, but let's get to this story. So, describe the changes. This is important for a lot of people because a lot of people have insurance policies, and there are a lot of people in Tornado Alley. Describe the changes that have to really been put into place in insurance policies the last couple of years.
Yeah. So, I mean, this tornado was estimated to about $2 billion of damage. So that puts it as one of the worst tornadoes in U.S. history from a dollar perspective. But it's just the latest in a string of these. If you think back to 2011, we had the Joplin, Missouri tornado, we had the Tuscaloosa tornado. Both of those did more than $2 billion in damage, and the whole season ended up being a $25 billion season for the insurance companies. And so the insurance companies kind of took a step back and said, you know, we've been thinking about hurricanes as being the big exposure for insurance companies, but tornadoes can really add up. And so they started to really look for ways to shift a little bit of that risk onto homeowners. What that ends up meaning is higher deductibles, caps on rebuilding allowances. In some cases, roofs in particular, they'll cover only the cash value rather than the replacement cost. So what all of that means is that if you're a homeowner, you may have shouldered more of the risk of a catastrophic loss versus the insurance company.
Elsewhere who have these kinds of policies, are they aware that these changes have really taken place?
Well, so that's the big question, right? Because if in many cases this is an opportunity for a homeowner to evaluate and to say, how much cost am I going to take on? How much risk am I willing to take on? It can actually lower your premiums if you take on a little bit more of the risk. The concern among consumer advocates is that people may not always know what it is they're signing up for. Tornado comes through, and they wake up and they discover that they're not insured as heavily as they might have thought.
What should homeowners in Kansas, in Missouri, in Illinois do at this point?
The big thing is read your policy and decide on what it is that you're comfortable with, right? I mean, there are still higher return plans available, but they're going to cost more. And so the question then is, how much upfront cost are you willing to take on in terms of the premiums, and how much risk are you willing to shoulder that if a tornado comes through, what kind of payments are you likely to expect?
Okay, but the residents of Moore, in some cases, they're out of luck.
Residents of Moore at this point are going to be waking up and trying to figure out what they're going through. I was sitting down in Moore with residents who were sort of trying to figure out what it is that they actually are going to get back, and that can be a pretty painful process.
Okay, Ben Castleman, thanks so much. Great reporting in Oklahoma.
Thanks for having me on.